Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I'm on We Got This Covered. I really do hate We Got This Covered normally. But the reason is, this all came from The Wrap, and it's a pro article, which, like, I'm not against anyone monetizing stuff. Obviously, like, this channel is monetized. And I'm not against anyone putting anything behind a paywall, but when it's kind of evidently bait, it's a little bit lame. Like, if I try and scroll down, boom, you got to pay for it. Now, We Got This Covered have obviously covered this because they're synonymous with bait, articles and basically nonsense. And I do think this is nonsense. And this is all to do with Wonder Woman 1984 apparently looking to skip theatres and go straight to streaming. Now, I completely will just say out and out that I think this is total nonsense. And we'll get back to this, the Wrap business being behind a paywall and all of that kind of thing in a minute. But we'll take a look at this We Got This Covered article, which have kind of covered it, really. They've just taken the excerpts from it and chosen... Basically, they just covered the article. So, it says, obviously, Hollywood studios are in uncharted waters. Cinema stayed open throughout 2 world wars and any number of social cataclysms, blah, 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 blah. Basically, it's saying that, obviously, at hand at the moment, we're in this whole new issue where all theatres are closing, right? They have to be closed because social distancing has to be a thing currently due to the situation at hand with a highly contagious virus. Now, that is a huge issue. And again, I've got another video on this dropping later today, maybe tomorrow, just about how, well, it's all gone a bit poo, hasn't it, really? Everything's moved. There's no theatre chains currently open. It's actually decimating indie theatre chains, which is the worst. It really, really is hitting indie theatre chains much, much harder than any of the bigger kind of conglomerate chains and things like that. But then you obviously get these kind of articles where they're saying, look, this big tentpole property that you're looking forward to might go straight to streaming, or it might be cancelled, you know? And it is quite literally just bait. So the story, this is on The Wrap anyway, the story comes via Sharon Waxman and Beatrice Verhoeven at The Wrap, who say that high-level discussions are taking place at the studio as they try to figure out the best course of action. This is to do with Wonder Woman 1984. So it says, perhaps the biggest movie being considered for streaming is Wonder Woman 1984, currently still scheduled for a June 4th release. Warner Brothers' sequel to the hit 2017 pick, has already been delayed 6 months from its November 2019 release. Now, that wasn't a brand new delay, that was an old delay. They're not going to factor that into anything because they've only just now started their marketing ramp up. So when we talk about the delays that have happened previously, you have to factor into it whether it's going to actually cost them any money. Now, the first delay was not a delay past any marketing. They'd done nothing. Okay, it was still basically being made at that point in time. They have now begun the marketing ramp up for this movie. If they don't release it, they may have, well, they're going to cost themselves a goddamn sight, a hell of a lot more. Because this film will not carry itself just on the name alone. They will still have to do another marketing push. Now, June, okay, because we're coming up the end of March, going into April, May, June. It's within those kind of 12-week period where the countries are on lockdown. That will probably be okay. I really doubt they're going to want to push it past that. Like, it's so incredibly doubtful. Now, obviously, again, they're saying this here, the November 2019 release as an issue. It's really not. November, they did no marketing for that. Now, A Quiet Place Part 2, they're going to have to do another marketing ramp up for that. Black Widow, if it gets delayed, it is delayed now. Another marketing ramp up. All these bigger movies, No Time to Die, another marketing ramp up. They have to do more marketing. They have to pay for more marketing. That's when you can use that as evidence and leverage to your argument. This one, not so much. And it is interesting because Toby Emmerich has come in and said some bits and pieces here and there. So we'll get into it, right? So word is that their first preference is still a theatrical release. They are going to release it in theatres. But they cannot know how long cinemas will remain closed. No, true, but you can use China as a sort of case study. You know, if everything is on lockdown, you can get it done within a set amount of time. Cool, right, perfect. Let's shoot for around this date. June, they're kind of in that timeline. Now, it does say, as such, they're apparently currently eyeing a new August release date. But there's a lack of favourable dates, and so they're beginning to at least consider releasing on HBO Max. They're not going to do that. I say no with certainty, but just for those that think, you know, you're talking out your arse, and I could be wrong, of course, but I will say it's incredibly unlikely that they will release this on HBO Max. They have so much money pumped into this film. The initial delay is a marker for an additional expenditure, but not with marketing. So it would be a marker for additional expenditure to do with the production. And as such, they're not going to want to delay it again, as they've already started the marketing push. It'll cost them so much more money. Now, apparently, Warner Brothers denies this. However, with domestic distribution Jeff Goldstein said, "We're looking to release the movie theatrically. That's our plan." Yeah, they're not going to push it to streaming. Like, why? It's ludicrous if you consider how big a movie this is. This was from Charles Roven. This is one of the producers. Everybody recognises that. As interesting as streaming might be, if you want a huge global worldwide box office, you have to release it in a movie theatre. Yeah, there you go. Now, in terms of the wrap, right? This whole business of putting things behind a paywall. Look, this is clearly bait. It's clearly bait. Right? From what we can read here, yeah? The discussions are still preliminary and have remained close to Warner Brothers Pictures Group chairman Toby Emmerich and his top advisors. According to one individual with knowledge of the conversation, even director Patty Jenkins and producer Charles Roven have not been brought into the talks. Now, they've framed this as Warner Brothers debates whether Wonder Woman should skip theatres for streaming. Exclusive. I've got no issue with pay for content. You know, people sign up to my Patreon to pay for additional content, right? They watch me play games and, you know, we Skype and things like this. But this is very much clearly just bait. You know, it'd be like me putting out a Patreon post and saying, well, only, you know, $50 or more patrons can pay to see this post. And you click through it, it's just a jack in a box with a big old middle finger flying up at your face. This is basically what this is. It's total BS. Oh, yeah, admittedly, it's only for $1 a day. Yeah, $1 a day you can get flipped off, but seriously. And again, you can kind of see it as we go through. According to Warner Brothers insiders, the preference is still to release the movie theatrically, but executives are considering a streaming alternative, probably as a direct-to-consumer offering rather than as part of Warner Brothers' soon-to-launch subscription service HBO Max. Which is laughable, because then We Got This Covered still gets it wrong, and they say they're looking to push it to HBO Max. Like Chinese whispers. We Got This Covered, you can't even copy a bloody article. Fucking hell. The concern, the insider said, is that there is no known date for movie theatres to reopen. True, there's not. But again, like I say, China, case study, isolated for this amount of time, move forward, whatever. It probably will be around this time that it was scheduled for release. They might push it back a few weeks. It's not really a big deal. You know, what is this going to be going up against that's really going to impact it? Nothing. There's really nothing else up for grabs at the moment. The real key thing here is that studios aren't going to want to actually label down the dates yet. Why? Because these dates are agreed years in advance, months in advance. They'll eye a date and they'll see what gets released around the same time. Oh, we'll move that. We'll push it over here. You know, they have preliminary dates in mind all the time. And this is the same thing. If they're going to delay it, incredibly unlikely, and they want to push it to something say like August, they're going to need to see what Disney is doing with the likes of Black Widow, all these other properties. So there's a lot to consider here. So the fact that they're saying, oh, I might just push it on to HBO Max is garbage. It really is. So I thought I'd do this video. I just want to discuss this, and obviously, you know, the fact that The Wrap has like the Wrap Pro. It's just total nonsense. Don't pay for this kind of crap. So there you go. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please do let me know down below in the comment section. Also, just to really quickly address it for those that are still here, returning subscribers may have seen like I did this like little micro short film, and it's getting absolutely blasted. Right, it really is. Fine, good. I'm genuinely I need that. Okay, so I had this idea just to do this little like somber short film, like it's a micro film. It's like an advert. It's like a minute long, just to do with the whole self-isolation kind of situation at hand at the moment. It's overlaid with some Boris Johnson things, and I color graded it to look somber and all this kind of stuff, right? But it's good, you know. I debated whether I should release it or not. Sent it around to some friends, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, it's good. I like it." But you can't just have yes men around you, you know. I'm in the process of making an actual 15-minute feature. Well, not feature, but a 15-minute short film, right? So if I don't release these little case study films, how am I to know what I need to correct? And admittedly, a lot of people probably didn't see it coming, so it seems really out of place. But it's good to get the critique. So you might think that you're slamming me and going, yeah, you fucking look like shit. And it's like, yeah, no, but that's good though. Like, I want that. Like, I need that. Because otherwise I'm not going to be able to perfect anything, you know. The aim is when I come to doing my actual short film, which you know, there's money invested in, like a lot of money invested in, I need that to be good. I want that to be fantastic. So doing these little case study, little, you know, I guess mini ideas, like mini films, because that's what it is. It's like a microfilm. A minute is only a microfilm. I need the feedback, whether it's good or bad. So it's good. Like, I genuinely put it on blast. You know, tell me how it's shit, so I can get better. Because I was thinking that you're doing me a disservice by doing that. You're not. You are actually doing me a service, because then it means I could get a better handle on making, again, narrative-wise at the very least, making my short film that I really want to put a lot of effort into. So anyway, I thought I'd just to say that at the end. Needed to be said, because again, kind of came out of left field. But yeah, expect a few of them here and there, maybe, dependent on whether I get some ideas. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Apologies for that weird little thing at the end. Again, had to say it because people, you know, it came out super left field. But anyway, thanks so much. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Take care.